Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Pet Food Puzzle Guy. And with this video today or tonight, we are going to look at the pet food marketing that convinced you to buy the food that you're feeding right now. So I want you to try to be honest with yourself. We're all human beings. We all are emotional beings. And marketing, that's what marketing is. Marketing is to draw us in and get us to make a buying decision to buy their product. And so I looked at the top, what I consider the top 10 marketing tricks out there. And I really could call them pet food lies because they really are. They're totally dishonest. They're out there to just manipulate you. There's really very little nutritional truth to any of them. So we're going to go through them. And what I want you to do is as we go through them, I hope I remember to keep asking, but which were the ones that grabbed you? But hey, don't feel bad or be hard on yourselves. We are all affected by marketing. That's why marketing exists. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll go through what I consider the top 10 best lies out there that work so well on our hearts and our minds. So let's see which ones I want you to really think about. Which ones are the ones that grab you? Okay, so for those of you old enough to remember Johnny Carson, I am not going to do the starting with the 10th and going to the number one best. Just not that creative. I just went from what I considered the best on down, the first 10 that came to mind. Okay, so Johnny Carson, I am not. So anyway, what is the very first number one trick that the pet food marketers love to use, and almost just about everybody uses this one? You probably could guess it. Chicken is the first ingredient, or meat first. I probably will put up meat first, okay, if it's beef or lamb or whatever. It's a trick that Purina Pro Plan came out with in 1987. I remember the day, and it really, from then on, ingredient panels became a tool of the marketer rather than a tool for the consumer to figure out what was in the food. So meat first. I have to explain this. I know some of you from the Nutrition Nation, from Dr. Ray and my folks, Nutrition Mission folks, you know this by heart, but a lot of new people are coming in, and I hear their frustration, I hear their confusion. So we have to be patient and get them up to speed on some of this stuff. So if you are new to this channel, the ingredient panel goes by weight, not by volume. Now that's by law. Everybody has to do this. Okay, this isn't a myth or a debate, whatever. So the heaviest ingredients first, least weight is last. ProPlan in 1987 figured out, hey, since that's how it works, and we're losing business to Iams and Science Diet and From and some of the other what were considered premium foods back in the day, we got to do something. So they were ingenious. They realized a little bit of fresh chicken or any meat is mostly water weight. So if they measure the weight while it's still, before it's been dried, all that water weight shoots right to the front of the ingredient panel. So they could have very little meat actually being used, but by weight, it's going to go to the front. The other trick is called ingredient splitting, and you take your less attractive ingredients and split them into different names so that the weight gets split and it goes further down the ingredient panel. So the meat first lie, everybody, it's so effective, it worked so well that pretty much every food company out there has to do it now. So meat first, it means nothing. And all these lies that we're going to go over, none of them mean anything. They have no meaning in truth or in the affecting your pet's health or nutrition. It's just good marketing. Okay. So meat first means nothing, just manipulating the ingredient panel. But I wanted you to understand that because, again, it's so effective. It's so prevalent. You're going to see it on pretty much every food out there. So that's number one. Number two is kind of an offspring of number one. And again, this is all marketing. Look at the first 5 ingredients in the food. Okay, the pet food marketers got that to be really popular. People were writing me saying, well, don't you look at the first 5 ingredients? No, I don't. Okay, there is no board certified nutritionist out there that will ever say, look at the first 5 ingredients. That's absurd. but it sounds good. Why? Again, going back to the ingredient panel, it's easy and less expensive for a pet food company to manipulate those first 5 ingredients to make it look really good to you so they can charge you extra money to get you to buy that food. Is it telling you anything about the nutrition of that food? Not at all. It's just playing with those ingredients, whether it's ingredient splitting or using water weight to get something to the front. It's all a game to make the food look good. So you notice we're definitely on an ingredient path here. This is the focus of pet food marketing is ingredients. That's why I did that one video. There's nutritionists that look at nutrients and the delivery of nutrition, or the delivery of nutrients. And then there's ingredientists. It's a word I came up with. I think I've never seen it anywhere else. Let me know if you've seen it somewhere else. But an ingredientist is a person that doesn't look at the nutrients. They just look at the ingredients, and all they do, these are good ingredients, these are bad ingredients, and they miss the whole point of delivering optimal nutrients to the animal. So all these are definitely ingredientist methods here. Let's see what I got to put my old man glasses on here. Okay, while we're on ingredients, how about no fillers? You'll see that a lot now. There's no fillers in our food, okay? What is a filler? Well, in our minds, I think we think of something that has just in there and has no nutritional value. It's just a filler. I will tell you there's no such thing as fillers in pet food. It is a term that, again, the marketers came up with. It's very effective, and they make you think, well, there's inferior ingredients, there's bad ingredients that they're adding to that food. Remember, keep looking at our top 5 ingredients. Look at how beautiful our ingredient panel looks versus theirs. So that's definitely, no fillers. I'm all these are kind of connected, so it's probably the way they went through in my head. But the next one is no byproducts. And again, sometimes you'll see no fillers or byproducts. Byproducts, again, very disingenuous marketing, because what it's saying is that byproducts are bad. It even sounds bad, right? Well, AFCO, who controls the definitions of ingredients, back in the old days, if you used heart and liver and kidney and all that, even from human grade sources, okay, but all that, it was all organ meat that just the human market wasn't interested in, it would go into pet food, and it would be called byproducts. Could be excellent grade, highly nutritious organ meat. Most websites will tell you is great for nutrient dense, but it could be also garbage too. It could be a lot of other stuff, and all fits under that big umbrella of byproduct. And it's kind of funny now. You'll find foods, especially the more expensive ones, they'll still show you beef heart, beef liver, beef kidney. I mean, they actually list all the different organ meats that are in that food, which again is great. But really, under the umbrella of definition, it really is byproducts. Okay, so byproducts is such a vague, really useless term now, because you don't know whether it's junk, 4D meat, dead, diseased, dying, or disabled, or it's human grade or from human grade sources, and the nutrient levels are excellent. It's very pure. You do not know that from the ingredient panel. Number 5, again, ingredient panel, no corn, wheat, or soy. They literally put those 3 together. You see it everywhere. I mean, it's kind of funny because those 3 ingredients really are very different. I mean, corn is an energy source. It's carbohydrate. It's a fiber source. Wheat has a lot of different nutrients, but it's very different than corn. Soy is a great additional protein source to add with meat or with egg. They have very little in common, so it's kind of funny that those 3 always get jumped up together. I will tell you, wheat is one of the highest allergens out there, even though it's fine for 99% of the dogs out there. But if you had a very sensitive pet as far as allergies, wheat would be one to stay away from. Corn, not so much when you ask derm experts about that, and same with soy. So, but you'll see this all the time. It means nothing. Again, they're kind of putting that back into that filler. That corn, wheat, and soy is just those are just cheap fillers. They'll tell you corn has no nutritional value. They're lying to you. Okay, this is me telling you straight faced, they're lying to you, or they don't know. And if they don't know, you shouldn't be feeding their food if they don't know how good corn is as an ingredient and the nutrients it provides. And if they're lying to you, that's even a better reason not to feed their food to your animal. But corn provides fatty acids like linoleic acid. It provides amino acids, protein. It provides fiber, the outer shell of the kernel. It provides, it's a great energy source, okay, twice the calories than protein. And if we have animals with kidney issues, we sure don't want their energy needs coming from protein. So again, all every ingredient, soy, same way, great protein source. They don't get into any of that. They just tell you, oh, no corn, wheat, or soy. And like I said, there's no truth to any of this. It's just it's good marketing and it works. Okay, number 6. It's not kibble. Our food is not kibble. It's air dried. It's done this way. It's done that way. Okay, and I think I put the separate one on this. I did, and it's almost kind of these blend together a little bit. But why is kibble bad? Okay, you'll see this everywhere, especially all the new fresh foods that want to home deliver to you and charge you exorbitant amount of money. Um, they will tell you that, well, it's kibble is bad, it's too high in carbs, it's too low in moisture, so it's going to cause kidney disease, which is pretty absurd. But I am hearing that more and more now. So you don't want kibble, you want our fresh stuff or our raw stuff or our non-kibble or all this other stuff. Okay, anything we're different, we're not kibble. So that's number 6. And goes into number 7, which is kind of, again, these two almost could be the same one. One of the main reasons why kibble is bad is because it's extruded at high temperatures. And those high temperatures, you know where I'm going here, right? Those high temperatures destroy nutrients. They destroy the nutrients so bad that the food companies have to add synthetic additives and supplements to put the nutrition back in the kibble because it's all been cooked out. Okay. That is so absurd. It's very effective, super effective. It's a lie. Okay. It's an exaggeration. If we don't want to, if I want to be nice and say it's not a lie. Okay. I was talking with a owner and founder of a food company that I'm very impressed with, and we spoke for hours on the phone. It was great. And I brought up this about that all the nutrients are destroyed. He knew the percentage of each nutrient at the temperatures that he cooks the food at to how much is denatured or lost, whatever you want to call it. And he says we make allowances for that. Sometimes just adding more of that ingredient, sometimes it's whatever, but you have to be aware of it and you have to address it. That's the whole point of formulating a complete diet, not being an ingredientist that's just looking at, oh well, if you cook this, it gets destroyed. Well, but we can make up for that over here and over here, and then you have a complete diet. Corn, for example, is not available to dogs or cats unless it's cooked, and it has to be cooked at the right temperature, the right amount of time to be bioavailable. So the cooking process is just one of those key parts to the whole thing. But that's what matters. That's what nutrition is, delivering the key nutrients. There's a nutritionist out there, and I need to start remembering her name because I'm probably going to be quoting her a lot. But she said, this is a board certified nutritionist, she said there's no ingredient requirement that your dog or cat has. They do not have a requirement for certain ingredients. Doesn't exist. They have a specific requirement for nutrients. So if we can provide those nutrients, we're giving your dog optimal health, okay, optimal nutrition. And if they're sick, we actually can manipulate that to help manage the disease. That's really cool. I did that for 34 years and I loved it. That's the difference between just looking at ingredients. And the cooking process is a big part of that. Okay, so that's the other one. When they tell you, oh, it's all been cooked out, baloney. They're just they're trying to sell you food, and either they don't know better or they're lying. And then people just repeat it, especially then social media comes in and everybody repeats every one of these that we're going over. You know why I know? Because people will comment to my channel. Don't you know this? Don't you look at the 5 ingredients? You know, kibble's bad. It's been cooked, you know, to death. Blah blah blah. So far, which ones have been the ones that have gotten you to go purchase a different food? Let's see. What do I have? Number 8 here. This one I couldn't decide. Could be 2, it could be 1. I'm combining it as 1. Your dog is a wolf. Okay, your dog is a carnivore. He needs meat. Again, wrong. The cat is a true obligate carnivore. They require meat. Now, does an obligate carnivore, can they not consume corn and utilize corn? Absolutely, they can. But they do have a requirement for meat to get the amino acid taurine that they get only in meat. Unlike dogs and people, we can produce it from other amino acids. We can store it in our bodies. Cats can't do any of that. They can't even store it. So that's one of the true marks of a true carnivore. Does that mean they're limited to just meat, though? Absolutely not. Science has proven that beyond a shadow of a doubt. But it's good marketing. Blue Buffalo with the you know, the wolf running through the woods, and you know, they just, your dog, you know, he just craves meat. He just wants meat. Great marketing. Okay, I'm a real wolf fan. My wife and I have said on my videos, we met actually working in Yellowstone National Park back in 1979, and I would go out and watch the wolves. The Druid pack was dominant at that point, and it was exciting. It was amazing. But your dog is not a wolf. I'm sorry, it's not it's not true. And I think that leads into the next one. All these kind of lead into the next. Yes. Well, if your dog is a wolf, you should feed him a species appropriate diet. Have you ever heard that? Species appropriate. Again, great marketing. Has nothing to do with nutrition, but boy, it's effective. And it goes back to, you know, Blue Buffalo didn't think of it. I don't know who actually did to start using it. I think it was some of probably the YouTube celebrities like Dr. Becker or Dr. Judy or somebody like that, Rachel. But it means nothing. Okay. Oh, well, look what the wolf eats in the wild. You never saw a wolf, you know, take down a corn stalk and eat a ear of corn. Uh, okay, that's all irrelevant because the poor wolf in the wild, and I saw it, they eat what they can get when they can get it. Uh, yes, we know, sure, they get meat and they get this and they get all this other stuff. That has nothing to do with nutrition science. Most wolves are dead by 5, 6 years of age. Sure would hope most of our dogs are not dying at 5, 6 years of age. If a wolf lived long enough to come down with kidney disease or liver disease or something like that, or a wild cat was coming down with urinary stones, tough. It's just going to kill you. That's how nature is. Nature's pretty brutal when it comes to the animal kingdom. Uh, that's totally opposite of what we do. Therapeutic nutrition, veterinary nutrition, whatever you want to call it, right down to even you know, wellness nutrition. It's very totally unnatural. There's nothing natural about it. But when you think about it, the care that you offer your dog or cat at home, most of it's unnatural. How much of it's natural? Dentistry, parasite control, pain management. I'm sure how many pets out there don't have a bed at home, multiple beds sometimes, toys, you know, mental enrichment, all this other stuff. I mean, come on, it's ridiculous. But yet you're going to listen to these marketers that say, oh, but you should feed your dog like a wolf. Well, then cut out the vaccines. I know some people are starting to do that. But no more dentals, no more pain management, no more omega-3 supplements. Wolves don't get any of that stuff. You know, matter of fact, you should just throw your dog out in the yard and let him fend for himself, because, you know, wolves don't get to come in the house and have heat and air conditioning and lovely treats and all this other stuff. So again, great marketing. Super marketing means nothing, and it harms pets because people, instead of looking at nutrition, they look at these silly terms like species appropriate. Okay, that was number 9. And number 10, see what you guys think of this, but when you see these websites and they tell you your pet deserves this food, your pet, what are you going to put a price on the relationship you have with your pet, the unconditional love that they give you? Are you going to put a price on that? Doesn't your dog deserve that? You're his whole world. And how do they do that? Well, they do it through guilt, but also they do it through a high price. Because most of us, in our minds, if you're looking at pet food and here's a couple brands, and this one's a lot more expensive, until post COVID, until this inflation and all this insanity with prices, until all that, then now it's really crazy. But before that, we basically, come on, I did. We'd look at the price and say, wow, this food's a lot more expensive. It must be better. It must be good. This is what Bella deserves because she's the best dog in the world, right? So pricing is a big part of that. And I can tell you, I've shared on my videos, we've looked at nutrient levels in foods and we looked at the prices per pound. Now, true, per pound isn't totally accurate. I'd rather the cost per day of feeding the food, but at least it gives you some idea. There were foods, I remember we were looking at cat food, it was $3 a pound, some were $6 a pound, and one was $9 a pound, and it was the one that had the worst, or I should say the least healthy nutrient level of the 5 or 6 cat foods we looked at. So I'm here to tell you, as somebody that's been in the industry for over 3 decades, price does not reflect the quality of that food. And you notice what I'm getting at here. I keep using that word nutrient. All these lies, all these tricks that the pet food marketers use that work so well on every one of us, okay? Let's just be honest. None of it has to do with nutrition, because nutrition very simply is the delivery of nutrients at optimal levels to promote health in your pet and help reduce the risk of disease. I'll throw that in there as well. Excessive minerals, excessive protein, deficiencies in certain minerals and nutrients, most of that isn't going to cause a disease, but if your pet is prone to that, like urinary stones or kidney disease as they age, those factors, those nutrient deficiencies, and very few deficiencies, to be honest, it's always excesses and imbalances. Those are the things that are going to affect your pet, whether it's species appropriate or what it costs per pound, or whether the ingredient panel looks exciting to you or it looks, I'm not sure. I was just reading one of my comments the other day, and I hear this all the time. I felt terrible to feed that prescription diet because I looked at the ingredient panel. It looked terrible. So I fed raw, I fed homemade, I did all this other stuff for really, to be honest, way too long. The animal suffered. It still, nothing worked. I went back to the vet. I got the diet the vet recommended, and sure enough, it worked great. But at least now they're happy. The pet is doing well, all because they finally said, you know what? Take this, go and burn this, and listen to your veterinarian. Now, not every vet is an expert, but they're in clinics. They see animals day in, day out. What, 10 or 12 a day? If there's 5 or 6 vets in a clinic, that's a lot of animals. They're seeing the trends. They're sending home therapeutic diets and seeing the results. Vets are just like everybody else. They want to be loved. They want to be appreciated. They want their job to help that animal. Okay, they want good results. They're not going to recommend a diet that costs a lot of money and have it not work. Then they look like idiots. They're recommending these foods because they work. So there you go. So that's marketing versus true science. I think it's only going to get worse out there. I don't see it getting better. Let me know, what am I missing? I'm sure there's other tricks here, tricks of the trade that I just didn't think of. This was really just off the top of my head. And but please, if you're new, don't let your decision be based on this. Okay, it doesn't mean that some of this marketing isn't in good foods. I mean, the meat first. Everybody does that. I just would love for pet parents to be not making their decisions based on this, but really seeking out, who is the company, what's their history, what type of diets do they make, how long have they been making them, and show me the nutrients. Most of us are just consumers. We're trying to do our best. We love our animals, um, but education it's rare. It's not out there. Good solid information isn't out there. And I'm sorry, I know I get a little disrespectful, but the celebrities on YouTube, even if they mean well, most of the information they're sharing is misinformation. It's disinformation. So anyway, I'm starting to ramble. I hope that's been helpful, especially for you newbies. Please subscribe, hit that like button, all that stuff. My son says I don't ask that enough, so please do that. But mostly for me, the friends I've made, through the comments and helping people, and it's really encouraging when people tell me that I've been helpful. That's what we all want, right? So please keep them coming. And if you have questions or you totally disagree with me and I'm not making any sense, please jump in. I will not. I'm very thick-skinned. You won't offend me. I won't feel bad. And again, for my nutrition mission folks out there, you're very appreciated. You really are. I hope you know who you are. And I will catch you next time.